You've checked your phone 47 times today, and every single time, nothing happened. But you checked again anyway. That's not connection. That's a leash. So why is it that smart, driven men with goals, ambitions, things to build, still can't put the phone down? It's not laziness, it's not weakness, it's a system running inside your brain that was designed to keep you locked in. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to break it. Here's what's actually happening. Every time you open Instagram, TikTok, or X, your brain gets a small hit of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of anticipation. Not pleasure, anticipation. So you scroll looking for something exciting. Sometimes you find it, most times you don't. But the search itself is the drug. I call this the phantom signal loop. You feel empty, you reach for the phone, you get a small hit, the emptiness returns, bigger than before. You reach for the phone again. You're not scrolling to connect. You're scrolling to escape. And every loop makes the escape shorter and the void deeper. Here's what the phantom signal loop does to your life in real time. You sit down to work and last 8 minutes before opening your phone. You're in a conversation, but part of your brain is somewhere else. You see someone's success online and feel genuinely worse about your own day. You finish a 45-minute scroll session and feel more anxious than when you started. You can't sit in silence for 3 minutes without reaching for stimulation. That last one is the most important, because it tells you everything about the state of your nervous system. Here's the neuroscience, and I'm going to keep this simple. Your brain has a reward circuit built around dopamine. When that circuit gets triggered repeatedly by low-effort, high-stimulation inputs, like scrolling, it recalibrates. It raises its baseline. Now, normal life, reading a book, having a real conversation, working on a project, feels boring by comparison. The brain starts labeling these real activities as low value. A 2022 study published in PLOS One found that just 7 days of reduced social media use led to significant improvements in both well-being and life satisfaction. 7 days. But here's the part most people miss. FOMO, that fear of missing out, isn't really about missing events. It's a symptom of low self-worth running through a social comparison engine. When your identity is built on what others are doing, every logout feels like a loss. You're not afraid of missing the party. You're afraid that your life isn't enough without the feed to distract you from that fear. That's the real enemy. The reason you can't quit isn't addiction in the clinical sense. It's emotional avoidance. Social media is the most socially acceptable way to run from your own thoughts. Bored? Scroll. Anxious? Scroll. Lonely? Scroll. Insecure? Scroll. Every time you do that, you're training your brain to route discomfort directly to the phone. And over time, you lose the ability to sit with yourself. That skill, tolerating silence, sitting with a difficult emotion without immediately escaping it, is one of the most powerful things a man can develop. Because every great decision, every creative breakthrough, every moment of real clarity comes from that space. You can't build anything in the noise. Men who have actually broken this cycle don't do it through willpower. They don't try harder. What they do differently is this: they engineer the environment before the craving hits. They don't keep the app on page 1 of their phone. They don't start the morning with a screen. They've replaced the scroll with something that builds them instead of draining them. The key shift: they stopped treating social media as a source of information and started treating it as a tool with a specific, limited purpose. A hammer doesn't live in your hand all day. You pick it up, use it, put it down. Same principle. Here's the exact protocol, not tips, rules. Rule 1, the morning lock. First 60 minutes. No phone, no apps, no exceptions. The first hour of your day determines the tone of your nervous system. Use it for something that requires you to produce. Workout, journaling, cold shower, reading, anything that costs effort. Rule 2, the scheduled window. Pick 2 windows in your day to check social media. 15 minutes each. Set a timer. When it rings, you close the app. Outside those windows, the apps are not accessible. Move them to a folder on the last page of your phone, or use an app blocker like Freedom or OneSec. Rule 3, the purge. Go through every account you follow. Ask one question. Does this make me more or less? Anything that triggers comparison, envy, or passive scrolling, unfollow. Your feed should look like a curated tool, not a casino floor. Rule 4. Replace, don't just remove. The void will call you back. You need to fill it before it opens. Pick one analog activity that takes 20-30 minutes. A walk, a workout, a book, a skill you're building. Every time you feel the pull to scroll outside your window, do that instead. Not because you want to, because that's the rule. Rule 5. The sleep boundary. No social media after 9 p.m. Blue light and social comparison before sleep tank your sleep quality and prime your brain for anxiety overnight. Phone goes face down or in another room 30 minutes before bed. 5 rules, not suggestions. Rules. You're going to slip. Let's be honest about that. You'll have a moment of boredom or stress, and before you even realize it, you're scrolling. Here's what you do. Not tomorrow. Within 10 minutes. Step 1. Close the app and say out loud, "That was the loop. I see it." Naming the behavior breaks the automatic nature of it. Step 2. Identify what emotion triggered it. Boredom, anxiety, loneliness. Write it down. 1. Sentence, just name it. Step 3. Do 10 push-ups or take a 5-minute walk outside. This resets the physiological state and gives your dopamine system a clean signal. You don't shame yourself. You don't restart a streak. You just identify, name, and move. One slip doesn't break the system. Shame does. Here's your challenge for the next 7 days. It's measurable. You can start today. Day 1 to 2. Delete social media apps from your phone. You can still access them on desktop, but not mobile. See how that changes the impulse. Day 3 to 4. Institute the morning lock. First 60 minutes of each day, completely screen-free. Journal what you notice. Day 5 to 6. Do the purge. Audit every account you follow. Ruthlessly unfollow anything that makes you feel worse about your own life. Day 7. Reflection. Write down 3 things. What did you feel in the first 48 hours? What did you do with the recovered time? What do you actually miss, if anything? That last question will tell you the truth about your relationship with social media. Here's what changes when you step out of the phantom signal loop. You stop living in a highlight reel built for strangers and start building something real. Your attention span comes back. Not fully in 7 days, but you start to feel it. The silence stops feeling threatening and starts feeling like space. Space to think, to plan, to actually want things that are yours, not things you saw someone else want. The man who controls his attention controls his life. Because everything you want to build, the body, the career, the relationships, the focus, requires one resource above all others: time and attention. Social media doesn't steal your time, it steals your mind. And when you take that back, everything else gets easier. I want you to do one thing right now, before you close this video. Drop a comment below with the one rule you're committing to this week. Morning lock, scheduled window, the purge. Whatever it is, write it down. Because the moment you make it public, it stops being an intention and becomes a decision. That's where it starts.